We'll jump right in. My name is Jessica Cardenas. I am your coach in confidence. I am a trusted advisor for betrayal and transformation. I'm also a mental fitness instructor, and I am really excited about positive intelligence. This tool, this technique has helped so many people. So I'm excited to share it, very, very much so. So we're just going to allow some more stragglers to roll on in, and then we are going to jump right into the presentation. So first and foremost, I invite you to sit back and just take it all in. It's okay. You're more than welcome to write notes. You are more than welcome to listen to the replay if you'd like. So here we are. So one of the things that I discovered, because I have been a C-suite executive for over 20 years, and back in the day, people would leave the office to go on a cigarette break. Yeah, back when people were smoking. And they would come back so relaxed. And it got me really thinking about smoking and that habit. But what was it really going on? Yes, if you're a smoker, I apologize, but they take a nice deep breath in, and it's so amazing to see. I'm going to, Vanessa, can you mute everyone, please? Beautiful. So what do smokers do? They take a break, first of all. They get up and they leave their environment and go somewhere else. They take out a cigarette, they take out their lighter or matches, they put it to their lips, and the first thing they do is take a really deep breath. And then they let it out. And then they take another deep breath in as they smoke their cigarette. And then when they get down to the very end, you've seen it, they take that one final deep breath in and then flick it. But the action of what they are doing has always been very intriguing to me, because what they are doing is they are stepping away from whatever is going on in their lives to take a moment, to take that breath. Yes, they're filling it with something else, but the action of taking that deep breath. So I invite you to do the exact same thing. Let's light that cigarette, put it to our lips, take a nice deep breath in, and release. Take another nice deep breath in, and release. Yeah. You see that sensation that goes on? It allows your body to completely calm down. We only took 2 breaths. A smoker on a regular cigarette can take up to 15 deep breaths. There's something to be said about that. I'm not advocating smoking, I'm advocating breathing. So we're going to jump into mental fitness and you'll see how this all coordinates with each other, but I wanted to share that with you. So let's jump right into the presentation. I'm going to share my screen with you. All righty, beautiful. So I want to know if you're all entangled into your own thoughts. Are there just thoughts that just randomly come in, randomly leave? You're running through your checklist for today. You're running through your checklist for this weekend. Now, I want you to imagine the possibility of just being able to remain calm, clear-headed, stress-free, positive, even in the midst of challenging life and work activities. What actually becomes possible for you in the inferno that might be going on? And you'll notice I use a lot of fire analogies. I come from a household of firefighters, so I tend to gravitate towards that. So yes, the smoking cigarette and now the inferno, again, just so that you understand where I'm coming from. So my question for you is, what becomes possible? And that's where mental fitness moves in. So we're going to learn today how to grow the 3 core mental muscles to thrive in challenging times. So we really need to define what exactly is mental fitness. So the definition is your capacity to respond to life's challenges with a positive rather than negative mindset. And what is the impact that that has on you? Well, it definitely improves your performance. You achieve peak performance. You have a nice peace of mind and wellness. It also helps with your relationships. This mental fitness program is definitely based on breakthrough original research by Sajad Shamin and a combination of recent discoveries that are across neuroscience, positive psychology, cognitive behavior psychology, and performance science. It's rooted in that. And the research includes work with hundreds of CEOs and their executive teams, Stanford students, elite athletes, and over 500,000 participants from over 50 countries. And this was all summarized in the New York Times bestselling book, Positive Intelligence, which has already been translated into 20 different languages. The root of all of this and what he was able to achieve was the power of factor analysis. So what is factor analysis? Factor analysis discovers the root cause, and then radical simplification. So think of it this way. There are thousands of colors, but when you get down to the root of it, there's only 3. 3 colors get you to thousands of colors, and that can be red, blue, and yellow. Think of it this way. There are 26 letters in the alphabet, 26 letters, but they comprise over 1 million words. When you put them together in a variety of combinations, over 1 million words are created based on 26 letters. That Webster's dictionary, very thick, very heavy. But again, when you get down to the root of it, it's 26 letters. All of this analysis, all of this trickled down to what is mental fitness. And there are 3 core muscles to mental fitness. You have what's referred to as your saboteur interceptor, you have your sage, and you have your self-command. 3. We get down to just 3. So we're going to talk about each one. You have your saboteur interceptor, you have your sage, and your self-command. Your saboteurs, you have 10 of them. 10. Yes, 10. The judge is the big one, and we'll talk about him in depth. And then you have 5 sage powers. Yep. So you have 10 and 5. 10 and 5. Sometimes I lose track of my fingers. Anyway, so in terms of your 10 saboteurs, mention the judge. You also have your accomplices, because the judge doesn't work alone. So the accomplices are the controller, the avoider, the hypervigilant, the pleaser, the victim, the restless, the stickler, the hyper-rational, and the hyper-achiever. Now, the saboteurs motivate you through negative emotions. That's fear, stress, guilt, anger, shame, and insecurity. They might generate success. Yeah, you might get success, but not happiness. It's really short-lived. Now, your sage powers, on the other hand, your sage is to empathize, to explore, to innovate, to navigate, to activate. And the sage motivates you through positive emotions, empathy, curiosity, creativity, passion, and purpose. And it actually generates the highest success and sustained happiness. Think about that for a moment. Think about the last time you were truly happy, like truly happy for a duration of time. It likely came from sage. Absolutely. So we jump back into the saboteurs, and the judge, he's the ruler supreme. We all have it. Absolutely, without a doubt. We either judge ourselves, we judge others, or we judge circumstances. Sometimes it's all three at the same time. You know it. You walk into a room and suddenly you're looking around and whoo, that judge comes up onto you. Oh, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? Oh, absolutely. The judge comes out in rare form. And a lot of times we think of the judge as a friend, that they're there to help. But I want you to think of the judge similar to the emperor in Star Wars, the dark side of the force, the all-controlling, all-seeing. Again, he doesn't work alone. If he could work alone, we might be able to fight him off. But then he comes with, buddies. And again, those accomplices are the controller, the avoider, the hypervigilant, the pleaser, the victim, the restless, the stickler, the hyper-rational, and the hyperachiever. Yeah, it's not to say that all 10 come at once. Not at all. But the judge doesn't work alone. So I want you to remember that. And again, they motivate you through fear, through stress, through anger, through guilt, through shame, through insecurity. That's how they motivate you. How do we figure out where we're at? Which accomplice is stronger than the others? Do we have all 10? So there is on positiveintelligence.com an opportunity for you to take a free assessment. You answer a slew of questions. Some of them might seem repetitive, but there is a rhyme and reason for the way that the questions are worded. And what it does is it gives you your results, your saboteur assessment results. So I'm going to show you an example. This is James. So James, his controller is the #1 accomplice saboteur, works hand in hand with the judge. Then it's the avoider, and then his hypervigilant, and then his pleaser. Yeah, pleaser. Pleaser's a big one. Victim, and then his restless, his stickler, his hyper-rational, and his hyperachiever. And it gives a score based on all of these different accomplice saboteurs. So you might be thinking, wait a second, aren't negative emotions good for you? Don't they push you in the right direction? They get you moving? Well, my question for you is pain actually good for you? Is pain actually good for you? Would you continue to leave your hand on a hot stove? Well, in some respects, that's kind of what we do when we sit in negative emotions, because the negative emotions are only useful for 1 second to activate you, to alert signal for you. But staying in the negative emotion, living in the negative emotion, it hurts your ability to see clearly and to respond with that empathy, that curiosity, that creativity, and that laser-focused action. So a negative emotion, when you feel it, and when you feel it, it's a saboteur. It's always the judge and an accomplice. So we're going to move forward and talk about my favorite one, which is the sage. The sage lives in a region of your brain that's associated with positive emotions, peace and calm, clear-headed focus, creativity, and the big picture, to see the big picture. And it motivates you through positive emotions, such as empathy and curiosity and creativity and passion and purpose. And it operates from the sage perspective. So what is the sage perception? What is the sage perspective? My tongue just does not want to work this morning. So The sage perspective is that every outcome and circumstance can be turned into a gift or an opportunity. I'm going to repeat that every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift or an opportunity. So I'm going to share a story with you that signifies this. My daughter, when she was young, and for those of you that are parents, you remember this, Scholastic. She used to come home with that little sheet and all the various books that she could select. Well, when she was in kindergarten, or first grade, she came home with one of these, and usually at that point it's picture books. But there was one book in particular that she was really interested in. And I asked her why, because I was a little surprised, because she selected Zen Shorts, Zen Shorts. And I knew that she couldn't quite read it. And I was a little perplexed. And I asked her why she was interested in it. And she said, well, it starts with the letter Z. And Z is my daughter's favorite letter in the alphabet. Of those 26, Z is her favorite. Why? Because Z is for zebra. And my daughter was very big into zebras. So we purchased this book. We got it. And within it is a story. And it's referred to as the stallion story. And I'm going to share tidbits with you on it. So there was a farmer who had a beautiful stallion that he had raised. And he took it to the fair and he had won. He had won a prize for having the most beautiful stallion. And all of his neighbors came to celebrate his good fortune, that he had a prize-winning stallion. And as they were mingling around and praising him for this, he said, what is good? What is bad? And his neighbors were a little confused by his reaction. Off they went. A couple of days later, his prize stallion was stolen, as others had heard about it. Again, the neighbors all gathered around him and expressing their condolences. Oh, how sad. This is terrible. Your prize-winning stallion has been stolen. And again, the farmer said, well, what is good? What is bad? A few days later, the stallion returned with 2 mares. So now he had 3. Oh, the neighbors came. What good fortune. You've gotten your stallion back and 2 mares. And again, the farmer said, what is good? What is bad? A few days later, his son, who wanted to break in the mare, decided to ride the mare. Mare wasn't having it and bucked him off, causing him to land and break his leg. And again, the neighbors gathered around. Oh, this is terrible. He's broken his leg. Again, the farmer says, what is good? What is bad? A few days later, war broke out in the neighboring community. And they came through to gather all of the young, capable men for war. Well, they couldn't take the farmer's son because he had a broken leg. Again, the neighbors gathered. Oh, what good fortune. They couldn't take your son. And again, the farmer said, what is good? What is bad? So the moral of this story is it's about perspective. So which perspective is true? The saboteur will say, oh my gosh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. And the sage will say, well, this is a gift. So what is the answer to that question? Which perspective is true? And it's actually whichever one you believe that becomes true. If you see it as bad, it'll be bad. If you see it as good, it could be good. Very much so. So again, we've now reviewed 2 of the 3 core muscles, the saboteur interceptor and the sage. And the 3rd one is the self-command. Yes, self-command. So I'm going to invite you to do this with me. And they're referred to as PQ reps. PQ reps. And this is just 10 seconds. So I invite you to do this practice with me. And it's very simple. I want you to gently rub your fingers together, your thumb, your middle finger, and your index finger, with such a light tension that you can feel the ridges of your fingerprint. I want you to breathe in and release. Breathe in again and release. I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in and release. I invite you to take another. This time, I want you to notice the temperature of your breath as it enters your nostrils and the temperature when you exhale. One more time, deep breath in and release. Gently open your eyes. Yes, that's the simplicity of this operating system. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes to settle down, to settle into your body, to step away from everything else and refocus. So, the simplicity of this operating system. So when you're feeling negative emotions, just stop. Just stop. You're in saboteur mode. And it's the awareness that you bring to it that helps you stop, because you call it out. Oh, there goes my judge. Yep, there goes my controller. Yep, my stickler. Because when you name it, it loses power. It just does. It loses that grip over you because they're not your friends. I know that you feel that way, but they're not. Then a couple of PQ reps. These are examples of PQ reps. Your breath, fingertips, and there are others. Very simple. You want to do them to quiet your saboteurs down and activate your sage. Yes, activate your sage. And then go into the sage perspective that every problem can be converted into a gift or an opportunity. It can. And then to generate that gift using the sage powers. Again, your empathy, your curiosity, your creativity, and calm, clear-headed attention. So the question is it really possible to shift from saboteur to sage? Is it really possible to go from negative to positive? Well, yeah, it is. Even in tough challenges, it is. But it really depends on the speed and depth of your mental muscle. And that's what this program does for you. It builds up that mental muscle so that you are able to settle down your saboteurs and activate your sage so that you are coming from a place of calm. And it takes practice. Just like if you want to walk into a gym and be able to pick up a 50-pound barbell, you can't go in the very first day and do that. You need to start with something lighter and smaller, but you build up those muscles repeatedly over days, over weeks, to the point where, yes, you walk into that gym and you pick up that 50-pound barbell. Same thing here. Yes, you walk into a situation that weeks ago, months ago would just activate you. Your judge would just come right out and be like, oh, no, 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 kind of thing. Now you walk into a situation. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see what can become of this. And it becomes contagious because everybody else around you senses that calmness in you, that ability to be able to see the big picture, because you are not letting your saboteurs hijack you. So with that being said, we've now had a very intellectual conversation about positive intelligence. We've talked about the 3 core mental muscles that you need to work on to build up that strength. We talked a little bit about the root cause and the factor analysis. So we've had a good conversation so far, but the conversation's only 20%. You've gained some insight. That was an interesting exercise with the virtual cigarette. Yes, the breathing in, the breathing out. It's something that we do every single day, all the time. We just breathe. We never think about it. But when we have that moment to actually think about our breath, to feel it go all the way down to our hips, to feel it exhale and feel the temperature from our nostrils, to focus for a minute on that rather than all of the external things. We know it, we just don't practice it. Same thing with our New Year's resolutions. Our New Year's resolutions are perhaps to lose weight, to drink more water. We know what we want to do. We have the insight to do it. We just need the mental muscle to bring it forward, to bring it forward to us. And that's where this comes in. So how do you become successful at building your mental muscle? We talked about going to the gym and every day, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more to get to that point of 50 pounds. Well, it's the same thing here with your mental muscle. And the success is really your initial intense practice. And people hear the word intense and they're like, oh, I don't have time. This requires 15 minutes a day. I know. I was like, what? What do you mean 15 minutes a day? And it's for 6 to 8 weeks. And what it is that 10-second interval that we did before, where we just breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And a little PQ reps of our fingertips. And again, there are other exercises. So if this is not doing it for you, no problem. There are others. This one's my favorite because you can see it on screen. And I actually really enjoy doing this, so much so that when I'm driving, I'm actually doing it with my other hand. Anytime I'm in a meeting, it's going on underneath the table. Absolutely. This is just my indication, my way of jumping from saboteur to sage. So think of it this way. There are 10 saboteurs, and you can't defeat them by only sending in one fighter a day. It needs to be intense, and the intense is 15 minutes a day. And that's broken up into intervals throughout the day so that you have it. And you are prompted with an award-winning app that goes on your phone, and it just prompts you to step away, to take that break. Think of it, that cigarette break, to take that break just for a moment, just to step out of life's challenges and breathe and settle in and discover your sage perspective, to bring forth that curiosity or that purpose or that passion or that empathize or that explore. So we've talked about the process. Let's talk about the outcome. What do people actually get after going through the program for 6 to 8 weeks? What do they actually gain? So I want to introduce you to Steve. So he's written a wonderful testimonial on this, that the Positive Intelligence 6-week program has changed his life profoundly, that he was able and he became very aware of his thoughts. And he learned how to redirect his thinking from negative to positive. So it's great that he said this, but let's actually see it. So we have his saboteur results from before he started the program, and then he redid it at the end of the program to see if there was any improvement. He might have felt this way, which is wonderful, but was it actually working? And it was. His results were that at the initial start of the program, his stickler was an 8.8 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 8.8. 6 weeks later, using PQ reps and following the program, 15 minutes a day, he was able to get it to a 5.6. Again, you're not going to eradicate your saboteurs, but you can calm them down. You can be stronger than them. So this was a wonderful example. For example, his pleaser was a 6.9, and now it's a 2.5. And as you can see, all of his results dropped substantially doing this program. So I ask you, what's your current situation and what's your desired outcome? What do you want? What do you want that by New Year's, when everyone else is fixated on their New Year's resolution, you're coming into your New Year's resolution already ready? You already have mental fitness tools that will help you achieve the other things you want to tackle. That you're coming from a place of calm, coming from a place of curiosity. So I invite you to dream big. Dream big. Absolutely, very much so, because you will never know the places that you will go. You won't unless you dream big. And to dream big, you need to tap down those saboteurs that tell you you can't do it. You're not going to be able to do that. Why would you even try? You know those voices in your head. You hear them a lot. They're there. Very much so. We all have them. It's just how long are you going to let them have a conversation with you? At what point are you going to tap them down and say, I got this. Go back. I got this. That's the awareness. So let's talk about the positive intelligence program. There is a self-guided program. If you're one of those that like to do things on your own, at your own pace, there is the program for you. It is on positiveintelligence.com. You can sign up there. It's a 6-week duration. You watch 1 hour video per week. It's usually on the weekends or on Monday. You have a 15-minute guided practice that's broken up throughout your day using the supplied guided app. This is an award-winning app that puts you through the exercises, all guided for you. And then you have the opportunity and the encouragement to read the first 8 chapters of the Positive Intelligence book. And it's available in PDF so that you have that. So if that's what you're interested in, you like the idea of mental fitness, working on it at your own pace within a 6-week duration, you can sign up for that on positiveintelligence.com. Now, where do I fit into this? Well, if you'd like me as a guide on your side, you get all that I just mentioned. So you get the 6-week duration, you get to watch the 1 hour weekly video, you get 15 minutes a day to practice on the supplied app. You get the first 8 chapters of the book. In addition, we'll have weekly group sessions of anywhere from 2 to 12 participants. It is capped at 12 for all 6 weeks. There'll be a group onboarding session prior to the start of the program, just to make sure that you are all set. You understand how to use the app. You understand all of the nuances of the app. Then we also have a group conclusion session at the end, the assessment at the beginning. So if you run over to positiveintelligence.com and take the Saboteur assessment, you and I will have a one-on-one session to review your results and determine your goals for the program. And then we will also do it again at the end so that you have that as well. And you know the direction that you can move forward in. And then in addition, you will have access to the app for the entire year. You get to continue your practice for the entire year. So I'm sure at this moment in time, your sage has quieted down and your saboteurs have jumped into gear. So is that voice in your head sabotaging you right now? Is it saying, "Oh, no, no, we don't have the time. We can't do this. No, no, yeah, no." They're trying to get you to quiet down. Yeah, your saboteurs want to remain in control. They don't want you to do anything that will minimize them. They don't want to be made aware of. They don't want you to realize that they are not your friends, that they are not working in your best interest. So we're going to work together to break the unconscious cycles that are undermining your own advancements. And how sure I am on this program that when you work with me, I offer you a 30-day money-back guarantee. You are more than halfway through the program. And if you decide this is not for you, simply communicate to me, full refund, please, and you've got it. No problem. None whatsoever. I'm so sure of this program that I stand behind it. And to date, no one has yet to take me up on that offer. So let's see about working together so that we can get you where you want to be. Where do you want to be? What is your desired outcome? Dream big. Where do you want to go? Oh, the places you'll go. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about logistics. So if I've intrigued you and you'd like to save a spot, email me your name and your email address. If you're curious about the saboteurs, take the assessment. It is free. By all means. They will email you your results, and you, of course, can email them to me and grab 30 minutes on my calendar so that we can go over the results together. And then we'll chat to see if the program's actually right for you and if you'd like me as a guide on your side. I thank you so much for your participation today. I hope that this was of interest and intrigue for you. And if anything, just to think about pausing and taking a breath. I know we breathe all day long, but there's something about taking that nice, deep inhale, filling our lungs, and letting it go. I wish you great success on your journey. If I can be of assistance and a guide on your side, by all means, reach out.